There's power in a drum beat on a hill above the sea. Power in the voice of a supporter. But it all amounts to nothing. Together we don't sing. There's power when we're not OIC. San Diego forever. Oh, Castellari. Valley and mountain, chaparral to the sea. And the colors of our rainbow, sunset, orange, Tory green. There's power when we're not OIC. SC loyal forever. Someday North County. Desert to islands. Get loud now, you and me. All our voices strong together as we cheer on our team.
Welcome to the Loyal Locals podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Dyer. Still alive, still kicking, and we still have a game to play at the very least after a thrilling win in the desert in Las Vegas that saw a large and rowdy contingent of San Diego Loyal supporters cheering on the team. Now, I want to bring on, before I get rambling, let me bring on producer John Cross. John, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. It was quite the busy and exciting week this week.
So it's funny, every week I introduce you and I say I'm going to bring on producer John Cross. I should be transparent and say I am not doing anything. I am not bringing him on. That is like the magic of podcasting. I'm not doing that. John is bringing himself on, but I don't think it really serves the show or furthers, the enjoyment of a listener or viewer if I say, and now bringing himself on is producer John Cross. That sounds a little weird. I think it raises more questions than it answers, but I just wanted to acknowledge that I literally don't do anything. Every day, every week we do this podcast. I'm racing home from Carmel Valley to get here on time. We push the podcast back to 8:15 to give me a little grace, which sometimes still is not enough. And John is ever patient and ever amenable to these things, these factors. So my thanks to you. And yes, John brings himself on. He does all of the hard work here.
You're giving away all the secrets here.
Yeah, I feel like I got to peel back the curtain a little bit. We are on a a limited. We don't know when this ends, right? We're just on this ride till the very end. Yes, we are going to talk about the match in Las Vegas, and we are going to talk about this Sunday's playoff game against the hated Phoenix Risings out of the valley in the desert. But the first thing I wanted to hit on, because I was so moved by it, is an article in ESPN FC by local San Diego soccer journalist Cesar Hernandez. He covers mostly Liga MX for ESPN.com, but he wrote basically the love letter to San Diego Loyal and its fans that I think the club really deserved. Kind of told the whole story from the beginning. He hit on all of the key points that we talk about all the time. He talked about the the challenges of 2020. He talked about of course, the supporter group. He talked about the controversy with MLS and the implications of that league coming in, and he talked about the closed pyramid. And I mean, he just hit every single note, everything that we've been talking about. It's all in there, and done so in a way that was really moving and really personal. And I just wanted to, at the top of the show, once again, give him, sing his praises a little bit, because I don't imagine there's any Loyal fan who did not read that article, but just in case, I wanted to acknowledge that here. We do have a third to bring on, and I know John just pulled up the article. I was trying to sneak Dylan in because I wanted to hear what he had to say about it as well. Our the host of our tactics show, Dylan.
Hi, how's it going, guys? Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay,
We
good.
can.
Sorry, apologies for my tardiness. Everything came down at once right there at the end on me, right when I was trying to get ready. But yeah, I'm glad you brought me in. I also really enjoyed this article. It actually took me a few attempts to get all the way through because it made me pretty emotional a couple of times. Not to say it wasn't like an excellently written article. That was exactly the problem. It was very, very well written, and I felt it captured the emotion in a really real way. Yeah, I don't know Caesar that well. I met him once or twice, and I had the pleasure of hosting one of these podcasts with him and Tony. So I was wildly out of my depth as far as San Diego soccer goes there. But yeah, just a beautifully written article, and it's really cool to have. I don't know. It feels like we're a little bit represented on the national stage there. It's like, I know Caesar's got his own career covering Liga MX, but I think he probably as close to one of our own as we're going to get on ESPN.
If the Mexican national team wasn't playing tonight and him having responsibilities, he would actually be here. I did message him and tried to get him on the show tonight, but yeah, unfortunately, like you said, he does have like a job to do. So yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about his article, at the top of the show, just because, I don't know if I've seen, the story, comprehensively captured anywhere before, like it was there. And like, ESPN, love it or hate it, what the right place for that article, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. They have such a wide audience. I think it was good to get that story told there. Sorry, John, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I think for probably a good article for anybody to read just to get an idea of what's going on here. But I think if you are a local or a fan of the Loyal, this really hit home, this article. And it is, all of Caesar's stuff's very well written. And there are just some great lines in there. I know there are a lot of quotes that were on Discord that people had put out there and commented on, but it was, as Dylan said, it was one that really, for me, same thing. I got through it in one reading, but there were a couple comments that really gave me pause in a good way, right? To think back about the memories we've had with this club and the supporter group and this team, and what an awesome thing we've built over these last 4 years. And really the general attitude that, a lot of teams and places would have, like fans and everybody would have just left. Like, well, the team's gone, well, I'm gone. And it's been the exact opposite with everyone from the front office. They're going full steam ahead to the very end. We're going full steam ahead to the very end. More, as Cesar put it, a celebration than, than a pity party.
He even got the front office people in the article. Like, literally, he is quoting people from the front office. Like, he really did hit every note.
I thought getting the grief psychologist, or I don't remember the person's official title, but like that was a really nice touch too, because I think that is an important part of this discussion, is like the stages of grief, as somebody who is fully still in the denial stage. I thought that was a really nice touch.
So, and I think a good segue here. I know, John, you had mentioned a lot of the quotes from the article. Loyal coach Nate Miller talked about, if you are dying, kind of a macabre way to put it, but he was talking about the fight in the team and how, if you live every day like your last, or you play every game like it's your last, you can accomplish kind of great things. And the fight in these players, I think, has really bubbled up to the top over these last two matches. The match at home, where we got the Oakland monkey off our back after not being able to beat them for a long time. That 4-2 victory, which the second goal they scored was kind of like an afterthought. And then in Las Vegas, and got to talk about this Las Vegas game. There is going to be a lounge after the show, so there is a whole story about the contingent of supporters who made the trip to Las Vegas, and staying right on there on Fremont Street, and all of the things that happened at the game, before the game, after the game. So Jason Ratcliffe is going to be here to talk about that. So we won't get too much into that, but it was incredible. I was not able to go. I watched it on the screen, and the camera angles in that baseball stadium, as weird as they were, did a great job in capturing the robust support San Diego Loyal had, and none of the support Las Vegas had.
I have to say, I was actually surprised that there were a decent amount of people sporting Las Vegas Lights garb at the stadium. It could just be because it was the last game of the season, or they knew there was going to be a large traveling contingent. But I mean, they were obviously not as loud, but I was surprised to see the amount of people there. I expected a pretty empty stadium other than our section.
I have a quick question for you about the in-stadium atmosphere, because I want to get your take of it being inside the stadium as a supporter group. Because one, we could hear you. I mean, loud. They had microphones nearby or cameras. You guys came through loud and clear on the broadcast. But the fact that they played in-stadium music during the match drove me crazy. I didn't know if that was intentional to try to drown the
That's what they
supporters
do.
out.
That's what they do.
It's not a unique thing to that game. They may have turned it up
That is
because
so
we were
annoying.
loud. Yeah, but it's their whole thing is that they do things differently. I mean, they literally have mattresses and kiddie pools on the side of the field at Cashman. They have a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man behind the goal. Their whole thing is like, we are different. And on some level, I kind of respect the attempt, I guess, but yeah, I agree. It's
a real kind of Flying Chancla's minor league baseball team vibe at their matches. Unlike most, I think, USL clubs don't do that sort of thing, but it's definitely the kind of place where you're going to have rotten egg night, like in basketball or something like that.
It's very Las Vegas. I'll give them that. Before we move fully away from the article, I did the article that we were talking about earlier, Cesar's article. I wanted to just read the quote from Nate Miller that Cesar used to end the article, which I thought was really good.
Right, that's the best line there.
Yeah, I want to give Nate the credit here, though, because I think he absolutely nailed it. And I'm going to read the long version of the quote, so sorry to everybody. But we don't know when we're going to die, but if you really live your life like you're going to die, you probably live it differently, Miller said. We know this club is dying. This is it. So how would you do things differently when you know this is maybe your last training session, maybe your last road trip, maybe your last time together? They know this is their opportunity to write this last chapter. We have the power to write the final story ourselves. And I just like chills.
Yeah. And
no notes.
Part of that chapter, I think the person that seems to want to put the exclamation point at the end of it is we saw it at the end of the match with the frenzied attack in a game that was won, I think. Dylan, can you just kind of walk us through what happened in the last 5 minutes of that match?
Yeah, I mean, I assume you're referring to Adrian Perez's beautiful goal towards the end there.
Not just the goal, though. I mean, the build-up to that goal was the type of singular effort on the pitch that I don't know I've seen all year from anybody on this team. It was just this, like, all of the sudden he found the turbo button and like didn't know that it was there, and he was like, oh, you mean I can just truck these fools and get straight to the goal?
It was special. I think I said in the Discord, once he took that last touch with his left foot to past the final defender, I don't think there was a person in the stadium who thought he wasn't about to score. Even on his weak foot, I gotta say, in his post-game interview after the last home game, Perez I don't know if you guys watched the presser, but he talked about wanting to do something special and like having this club ending be a big motivating thing for him. And I gotta say, like, he definitely showed it in that last game in Vegas this past weekend, because he was on it all game, doing like flicks around the corner, beating his man. And then that final goal, honestly, was my favorite goal he scored all year. I know he scored some incredible bangers, but the confidence that he just, like you said, it looked like he was a man dribbling against children. Like, it was just not competitive.
He completely outclassed
Yeah.
everybody who was trying to stop him from doing what he wanted to do. Nobody was going to stop him. It was something to behold, and I felt like that moment more than anything just captured, the way that everybody is kind of feeling right now, and everything we want to see happen with this team.
And love to Adrian Perez too. What a story he's been. The guy was an MLS player and got, I think, like almost 50 appearances, but kind of struggled to make an impact, and then was playing in the indoor and got his chance with Loyal. And I mean, 10 goals on the season, I think like 4 or 5 assists. What a player he's been. He actually got my number 1 spot for player of the year, though I was happy Koke won. But I just, you can't ask for more. If you're like romantic about sports, like I and I think a lot of us in the supporters group are, like, Adrian Perez is, you can't ask for anything better than that,
Yeah, Perez was my vote for player of the year as well. And that game, I mean, finally, I don't know, finally, I can't remember if he ever was on team of the week.
I think he was last week,
Before.
actually. Or no, maybe
Was
not.
he last week?
He definitely had goal of
But-
the week last week.
But
That's
he
what
had,
I'm thinking of.
yeah, he had other games and matches where, like, he did not make team of the week and didn't, we thought he'd be player of the week. He didn't even make team of the week. There were some times, I think this is finally a little
I think
bit
I
of an
replied to
accumulation
USL at
thing.
some point, like, justice for Adrian
I
Perez.
remember that. I came on here with my little subheader as like justice for Adrian Perez. Yeah.
Right, yeah. But I mean, you're right. And that second goal was men against boys. I mean, it's just, he had a couple of quick touches, just flew by the defenders, slotted it home perfectly. I mean, that's what we need. If we're going to be successful in the postseason, we need players, not just one, but in games, to step up in key moments. And, a 1-0 game, it's soccer. Something crazy can
Yeah,
happen at
100%.
any point in time, and you can't, you don't want to leave things up to chance. And that, even though we were dominating the game, really, that helped seal the victory completely.
So I want to talk a little bit about the stadium and the atmosphere, because obviously I watching on the stream, it's different than being there. But one thing that was really kind of irritating, I gotta say, is that I don't know what kind of supporter section Lights has, but there was drumming. I heard a snare drum, I heard a bass drum, and I heard a trumpet. So you would hear like the drum beats and the trumpeting a melody of what a chant would be, specifically the Dolly chant. And then you would hear this chorus of voices singing. And that was the Loyal supporters, right? So like all of the drums and trumpet you're hearing is Vegas, but no voices. And then from the away supporter section, just, I mean, you could hear like literally the lyrics of the chants. It was coming through like so strongly in that stadium. What was the situation there, Dylan, with their supporters?
Yeah, so I don't think there's really a real supporters group for the Lights. I think there once was. I think they called themselves the Electric Company, and they may still exist in some shape or form. I'm not really sure. I know Steve Brockhoff, El Presidente, has reached out to them and didn't really get much in return. So there's not really a supporters group there. There was a lot of families and stuff, which is great to see, honestly, growing the game and all that. But yeah, they definitely had like a hired band or whatever, a la Orange County, putting the drum right next to us because they thought that would make us be quiet or something.
Well,
So
it
speaking
didn't
of
work.
sounds, Jeff had put this in the comments. Did you feel that where you were in the corner really helped amplify the sound?
It definitely concentrated us into a pretty small space, and like it got the people who were more loud and more energetic down towards the front because like it's a triangle cone sort of deal, so there's less space at the front, right? So you had your Marklands and Callums with their shirts off in the front row. And then kind of my people like myself who like I'm standing and cheering, but I kind of like to also watch the game kind of more towards the back. So yeah, I think in the end it did kind of concentrate the sound because you had like the loudest core coming from a very small space.
At least they let y'all sit in the front. In 2021, they put us. I mean, this is a different stadium, right? I think this was in 2021 we were at Cashman, and this was a different baseball stadium.
It was, yeah, different.
But they kind of put us in the same area there in left field, but then made us sit at the top of the section, even though the seats in front of us were empty. They wouldn't let us come down to the front. Like we had to stay in the top corner. And maybe some of us made comments to their staff at the time, but
yeah, I'm not sure how much honestly thought they put into it because it was a really nice stadium. I think it's pretty new, finished in the last 3 years. There's not much of a second deck though, like there is, but it's more like executive suite kind of stuff. So yeah, I didn't think they had anywhere else to put us, honestly.
I don't think a lot of USL teams travel like this team traveled for this match. I think there's some extenuating circumstances that obviously made it more urgent for people to make the away trip. So that was definitely, I think, contributed to the mass of folks that were there. So I want to look ahead a little bit, and I'm glad we have Dylan on the show because I don't watch the Phoenix Risings, and I don't follow them. I don't look at the standings. I don't know who their players are. I just know I don't like them. Dylan, we are playing the Risings of Phoenix Sunday night at Torero Stadium in the second and last, well, maybe not last, home playoff match in club history. What should we expect from this team?
Well, I can tell that you're not a Phoenix fan because they're not the Phoenix Risings. It's actually the Phoenix's Rising. It's like Attorneys General.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Unexpected, but yeah, the Phoenix's Rising. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched that much of them either this season. I really don't like Phoenix, so it's not my preferred viewing experience. But they play a very possessive game. When John Morrissey, USL Tactics, would post his graphs about goalkeepers that would show like short passing versus long passing. The two goalkeepers that were furthest in the short passing side were Koke Vegas and Rocco Rios Novo, who is Phoenix's goalkeeper. So they play a not dissimilar style to Loyal. There's like some more nuanced things that are definitely different, but overall they want to control a game by possessing the ball rather than defending like some other successful teams. So yeah, I fully expect this to be a pretty heated game. We don't like Phoenix. They don't really like us. Danny Trejo has had an excellent season. I think he finished with like 18 goals or something like that. Was right on the heels of the Golden Boot winner, Albert Dikwa for Pittsburgh. So I think the first goal is going to be absolutely massive.
You'd think at his age, and his acting career, he wouldn't have time to...
The man's a phenom. I don't know what you want me to say. We've always known that.
It's incredible what he's done in this league. So we've played this team twice this year. But the problem is that we played them like right away. I was thinking, oh yeah, last season I went to Phoenix for a match, but no, that was actually this season that I went to Phoenix for a match. It was just like I think all the way back in March or something. It was a long time ago.
If you dig into the Bums Breakdown archive of either time we played Phoenix, because we played them twice in our first 4 games, I said it's great that we're getting them out of the way because we beat them and drew, so we have the tiebreaker. But if we play them in the playoffs, it's going to be like playing them for the first time. And lo and behold, here we are playing them in the first round. So yeah, I definitely, if much like Oakland last year, if you had asked me to pick a playoff team for us to have in the first round at home, we're playing the team I probably would have picked last.
So, Sunday night, what could be the final game of this club, ever more important for people to come out. And I think I saw in Discord that people are going to come out. I think Section 109 was close to being sold out, which I don't think has ever happened before.
The last I saw was fewer than 25 tickets left, and that was posted in Discord this morning. So I have no idea if those tickets are even still around. I went online just to look at the general tickets, and there are multiple, probably half the sections are completely sold out. And a few of the other sections have seats. So it's going to be a sellout. I don't know how many people will actually get, but it's few. And then there probably were about a dozen I saw resale tickets because they're marked a different color. But almost all the tickets in there are purchased and not up for resale. So people want their tickets and want to be there for the match on Sunday.
I haven't been looking at Discord very much today, at least. Any word on the away supporting contingent we should expect?
I have not seen anything discussed. I haven't asked Weston about it, but I think it's safe to assume that there will be a solid traveling contingent from Phoenix. I think that it's kind of an obvious trip. I mean, it's not that far, and objectively speaking, you get to leave Phoenix and go to San Diego.
And none of their supporters have jobs, so they don't have to worry about Monday.
Sure. But they also don't like us, and they have a chance to end our club's existence. I mean, if I were a Phoenix fan, I'd make the trip.
Oh, man, don't say it like that.
It's true, though.
Put that out there. Oh,
it's
man.
True, though. No, you got to be honest
about it. They will sell out that section.
Yeah, there are going to be a lot of Phoenix fans there, and it's I don't expect it to happen, but you have to be. I think we have to be realistic with ourselves about like. There's going to be some really perverse motivations for some people in this game.
So I think that's a good, and we hadn't planned to talk about this, and I haven't obviously spoken with leadership about this, but that does raise some maybe safety concerns in the stadium that we should be aware of. There have been near incidents in the past with this club and this supporters group coming in, antagonizing members of our group. We only sit a few sections away. They are on the same side of the stadium as us. I don't know if the club or security is doing anything to kind of prepare for this, but it's not like Oakland where they came and hung out with us before the match. Like that's not happening. And some of these precautions are probably warranted. If you are, a San Diego fan and you're going to be sitting in that East End, really anywhere, I would just be cognizant of kind of the ill temperament of some of their supporters and give them a wide berth and really just pay them no mind.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, John.
Well, I would like to emphasize the some part of that because I don't want to borrow too much trouble. And yes, I want to fully acknowledge that there have been some incidents in the past that have almost gotten ugly. But there's also been a lot of Phoenix fans that have been there that shared a beer together, that are good people. I do not want to lump the entire supporter group in, with one broad stroke. But it's a playoff match, and
Yeah, this is not the time for diplomacy, John.
Tempers can get up there, but again, I don't want to become a self-fulfilling prophecy,
or paint them with a
you know.
broad brush and all that. Like,
But if you're there in the section and we're singing for a team, I don't see how or why there would be any issues.
well,
Unless
there,
people are looking
those
for
issues come up if Loyal lose.
Well, okay, so I wanted to say I actually have had an opportunity to think about this because my roommate, who will be at the game, actually kind of asked me about this. So I've been thinking about it for a couple of days, and I think if you don't go looking for issues, there won't be any that come find you. But beyond that, I would ask and urge everybody to consider that while none of us hope or expect it, there is a possibility that this is the last time you ever get to do this. And so wouldn't you rather expend that energy and that emotional fortitude, like giving it your all for your team and this club that we've all grown to love? Like, I know sometimes you'll hear people say, like, whoa, the club's only been around for 4 years, but I would counter that with, like, it's only been 4 years, and look what this has meant to so many people. Like, I don't think that in retrospect, when we all reflect on this, anybody will be happy with themselves if they let this opportunity get away from them, if that makes any sense. Don't tarnish it. Like, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I
Phoenix
think
fans it's literally not worth it. If shit kicks off, like, literally not worth it. Sorry.
I think it was Little John who once said, "Don't start no shit, won't be no shit."
Turn down for what, right?
But yeah, win or lose, after the match is over, we still do our attention should still be on the players on the field. We should still celebrate what we've had for 4 years. But yeah, these are some things we have to think about, because it could end up being a frustrating loss at the end, and we really
And they are going to
wrap
enjoy
up our
that. Their
season,
supporter group is
they
going
will,
to enjoy the hell out of that.
as they should, right? If you win a playoff game in an away stadium and you've upset someone else, but we still can control how we react to all of that, and we should still make it a celebration at the end and make it a good experience no matter what.
And
Hopefully,
at the end of the day,
it's
they
with a
have to
win.
drive back to Phoenix.
So we
I
win
mean,
no matter what.
I can't imagine. There is no worse punishment. Driving back to Phoenix and then living there.
I mean, if you like, just on top of the weather, if you want to revisit this in the lounge, we can get all infrastructure insanity about this and just talk about all the ways Phoenix is terrible. So,
well, I think we probably spent enough time on that. I want to do a little look ahead. Now, I don't want the players or the coaching staff looking past Phoenix, but we don't have those restrictions, and there is an interesting possibility. If we do win, it will be on a Sunday. Now, the other teams that are in our playoff bracket are playing on Saturday. I think this is El Paso, right? El Paso and Orange County, or is it?
Yes.
Okay, so Paso and Orange County are playing on Saturday. If Orange County wins, we will be well. So first, let me back up a little bit. I think it'll be easier to talk about it this way. If El Paso wins, we get a second home game. Assuming we beat
that's not
Phoenix.
the only scenario in which we get a second home game. If Sacramento or Phoenix loses,
next home, 2 in a row.
No, but I'm saying, like, either one of those clubs can lose. And
I'm talking just for the next.
Game if we win.
I'm talking just for the next round, though.
No, me as well. I'm saying. Because this bracket, as it's set up, is not actually how it works. It's very specific in the rules of the playoffs. It's reseeded each round. So the highest remaining seed.
I don't think it is this year.
I'm gonna Google it right now.
Okay.
We'll keep talking about stuff. I'm gonna
Okay,
Google
so
it.
okay, is there a possibility that we play? Because this is breaking news, breaking my brain. Um, if San Diego wins against Phoenix, okay, Jason says they don't reseed. Jason is my like official fact checker in the comments.
Well, I'm gonna pull up the website. So, oh no, you're right. Fixed bracket. Shit. All right. So, yeah, we
we can
do.
edit
Wow,
this. We
that's
can edit this
dumb,
out,
dude.
and then nobody will
Oh
know.
god.
Okay,
No, we're not gonna edit this out. It is
Okay.
dumb though.
so if San Diego wins and Orange County loses, then we get a second round home playoff game against the El Paso Locomotive. Easy, easy, easy. Now, Orange County is favored, right? And Orange County obviously has a tiebreaker over us. If Orange County wins, we will be playing away at Orange County. The danger there is that we will know that on Saturday, but we won't know if we even are going to be their opponent. So I don't know what the away supporter situation in Orange County is going to be if there is that second round playoff match. Orange County is very aware of how we travel. They don't like it. They have tried to make things difficult for us in the past by splitting us across the stadium. The last time we traveled, they had us on the opposite side where we had been previously, I think, to get us off camera. I don't know how they are going to treat a playoff match with the away contingent that we will bring should those tickets be available. Championship Stadium is not the largest stadium in USL by far, so that game will sell out. Now, will it sell out before Loyal gets its allotment of tickets? Are we going to even be able to bring as many people as we saw in Las Vegas, if not more, to this match?
Well, I know there's people in the background that are working on this, and I don't believe there's an answer yet. So pay attention. This is Tuesday night as we're recording. So pay attention in Discord for any updates to that. I don't believe Orange County. I do not know this for certain, but I would imagine per USL in the playoffs, they have to reserve at least a section, some designated area for away supporters. That would just be, I mean, if you got to the playoffs and you didn't allow that, I just think there would be a world of problems within the organization. Now, if it's one section like we had last time, you have an issue. Who gets priority? Is it season ticket members? And we have way more season ticket members than could fit in that one section. So is there a lottery? How does that work? I have no idea. And that will be, I'm sure those are all things that are trying to be worked out, and doesn't even matter until we win this weekend, right? We have to win. So I'm sure there's some things that are loosely in place, but probably nothing.
I think I wanted to mention it because there was chatter in Discord about not waiting to find out whether we win or not before buying tickets.
I definitely am not recommending or suggesting that I will do this, but one could theoretically, just the second we know that we'll be playing in Orange County, just go buy a GA like supporters end ticket in Orange County and then just happen to spend your time in the Loyal section. Just a thought.
That might be the move. I don't know. I don't like uncertainty. I don't like stress. I don't like worrying. This is why I don't go anywhere. I don't like worrying about where I'm going to park. So I just never leave the house.
That's why I take the train. Parking sucks.
I live in the suburbs. I mean, I just can't. Fair. You know, that's why I don't go anywhere. But this situation is kind of one where I'm like, you know, I don't even want to mess with it. You know, and if the team loses and I'm out, I mean, what are the tickets in Orange County cost? $20 a piece. So I'm out like $40. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, definitely something to keep in mind and be aware of as we get closer to Saturday. Hopefully there will be more information forthcoming from either the club or the locals leadership.
Yeah, and a couple quick things to add because I know we're getting close to time here. Back to the Phoenix match. So I think for Orange County and everything, just to get back to your ticket conversation, is that they won't even start selling, I'm guessing, until whether they know whether they've won or lost. So I'm sure there'll be a mad rush as soon as we know one way or the other from that game. So two big things about this upcoming weekend because it's playoffs. The first is there's another barking lot. So we got approval from USD to do a barking lot. So that will start at 4:00.
Does
So again-
USD know it will start at 4:00? Because they didn't know that last time.
I am told they are aware of that.
Okay.
But it could be our last game at USD. So this is potentially our last opportunity for a barking lot. We thought our last one was, but we won that game and put us in a position for a home playoff match. May or may not be. Things could fall our way and we could end up with another home game somewhere in the playoffs. But as far as we know, this will be our last one. So if you can make it out there, come out to the barking lot. I'm not sure if there's going to be a post game. This is something we have loosely talked about. We talked about it at our Congress meeting last week because it's Sunday night and it's a playoff game. So it could go to penalty kicks and then be extra late. So there was some talk and I don't think anything has been solidified yet. So keep your ear out for the possibility of maybe a night before type event at O'Brien's on Saturday. So I'm throwing that out there just to put it on people's radar if that happens. So keep an eye out on socials and Discord to see if that eventually becomes a thing. But that might be a possibility a night before on Saturday. So maybe we could get together somewhere and watch the outcome of that Sacramento-El Paso match as we do a little night before celebration before our match on Sunday. Those are the big things for this weekend's match.
All right. So at 9:00, we are going to have a lounge with Jason Radcliffe for a full debrief of the Las Vegas away trip, the extracurriculars of said trip. So if you want to stick around for that, please do. They will be right back. And until then, until next week, let's go.
Sorry, I wasn't ready for the video. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Okay. One more goodbye. Bye,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye.
Any day, but forever.